Is the hardest part, but everybody, it's time to get hyped for this race of 100% category of the Magic of Scheherazade. Our Barbaloot synth pop is back. Take it away.
Let's do this.
Hey everybody, I'm synthpop, and
I'm
this
rBarbaloot.
game is awesome.
Sure is.
So this is a fantastic little genre mashup game from 1989, where it's going to look mostly like a Zelda kind of thing, but there are some turn-based random encounters and that kind of thing. We need character names.
Oh yeah, one last refresh here. Again, right neck and neck with a difference of $5. If you want to split it down the middle, that's fine. The winner is EDGR, if you want to take that one. And then Lena, Lina, with $264, if anyone else wants to take that one as well. Great job, everybody, raising nearly $600 for that bid war. Thank you so much.
Big shout outs to the goodest girl on all of Twitch.
Mm-hmm. That is such a good thought.
And thanks to everyone who donated. It's great to be able to do this as a 100% race. We get to see some parts of the game that we totally skip in the any percent run.
Yeah, and in particular, I've done runs of this in practice, but I don't have a recorded time, so we're definitely going to see a PB.
Hey.
So yeah, we start the timer actually when we get to this screen. When we dismiss the screen and choose a class, the game has a little bit of a class system. We're going to have to be all three at some point in the game, but we start as a magician because it's the best. It has good ranged attacks and everything else. But fighter and saint, you need those to get certain party members later on in the game. Since this is the 100% race, we do need to collect every magic. We need to get both of the highest level sword and armor upgrades. We need all of the companions, and we do skip in any percent. We skip the sword and we skip 2 companions. So it adds about 15 minutes probably to the length of the run. But I am
15 to
ready
20.
when you are, Barbara.
I'm ready.
Couch, want to give us a countdown?
All right. Let's go with a 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck.
y'all.
Have fun.
Speaking of couch, who are we?
Oh, yeah. Who are you? I feel like I've seen you before.
I'm Flannel Cat. I've played this game and run through the any percent route.
Yeah, my name is Vonnie Vaughn. I am a synthpopisback super fan, and so that's why I'm here.
I think there's another
I
disembodied
can't pass it
voice
up.
out there.
Darn right it is.
Yeah.
This is why I tell people to call me synthpop, because that way I don't have to continually respond.
Oh, is that how it works? Synthpopisback? Okay, good. That's good.
Darn right it's how it works.
So one thing I'm going to mention right off the bat, and you see it there at the bottom of the screen, there are going to be various points throughout this run where there will be some pretty strident flashing on the screen. So for those with photosensitivity issues, just keep that in mind. We'll try to mention it throughout the run, but that it is a very real thing in this run, just so you know.
It will be especially...
And since this is a race, it's going to be a lot,
It's gonna be double,
very prevalent.
It will be especially prevalent during bosses. I will do my best to give you a heads up when it is going to be more intense than when it is done, but you just want to be safe. Just maybe don't look during boss fights.
Yeah.
There are runners of this game who don't look at their own screen when the boss fights are happening, because you kind of, for large parts of it, like especially when the flashing stuff is happening, you don't actually need to look at the screen. You're just spamming a spell. So as we move along, we there are some things that we can do to manipulate the RNG to avoid those random encounters. I am less good at that than Barbaloot. I'm less good at everything in this game than Barbaloot.
I think we all are.
Yeah. So Barbaloot's the world record holder, and I'm in 3rd place. And I need to cut like 8 minutes off my time or something like that. Something ridiculous. But in any case, like there are some variables running in the background that determine like when you go across a screen transition whether or not you hit a random
Yeah,
encounter.
certain screens are flagged as encounter screens, and when you walk off those screens, there's a chance an encounter can show up.
And,
It's not really chance, though. It's based on the values of 2 variables, as well as how many encounter screens you've walked through already. And what we can do is take damage to stop those variables cycling and rack up kills and get to 10 kills, and that can start those variables cycling again. So particularly in the first chapter, we'll be taking damage at suitable spots and counting kills and trying to get to the 10th kill at certain spots where the kill count gets reset after taking damage. And if we do it properly, we can avoid almost all the turn-based encounters in this chapter.
And yeah, when they mentioned the encounters, it was just mentioned it was turn-based. It is a full-on like turn-based JRPG battle, and they take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at the beginning, they like getting into one and then being able to escape still costs you like 4 to 6 or 7 seconds. You get 3 chances to escape before anything starts to attack you, but especially at the beginning, if you don't have, other party members or upgraded equipment or troopers, like they can take forever and they are not worth it at all.
Yeah, the fact that the game gives you 3 opportunities to escape is incredibly generous, especially for the speedrun.
That is one of many advantages of the US version over the Japanese version, apparently.
Yeah.
You get one
Yes.
chance to escape.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, that and everything is consumable in the Japanese version.
Yeah, so like with the spell that we use to open up like secret hidden doors and stuff, or like hidden staircases, that is a consumable item in the Japanese version of the game. And yeah, it's no good. Like we don't want that.
It's nearly a
MP
different
is already tight enough in this run that we don't want to have to spend money on stuff like that. Money is also incredibly tight in this game. Yeah, so we stopped into a town earlier and we took a class at the university, which gave us the rod upgrade to the flame here. And I guess like one of the reasons that we choose the magician is because the rod is a ranged attack, and the magician gets upgraded versions of the rod. So like the magician can actually use the flame. The fighter can only use the regular rod. It doesn't look any different right now, but it does double the damage over the base rod. And then later versions of it will have more shots on screen. The shots go faster. The final ones, like the shots are larger. And so that's why most of the time we're going to be magician, unless we have to be something else. And then right now, I think we're both probably in a little bit of a grind mode. We just got the first magic. Yeah.
Right.
We just got the first great magic Moncom, which is incredibly broken if you ever actually get to use it in a run. We won't be using it, but it does incredible things. I took a death.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I'll be doing that later in the chapter deliberately.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not the ideal place to do it, but it's fine. Because it would be like 4 screens later, I would walk into the water.
And that whole dungeon that they're in there, like that blue underground area, that is the first change from the any percent to the 100% run, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
You would not be going in there at any percent.
It depends on your routing. If you're using an old route, yeah, you could potentially go in there. There is a version of the any percent route that we used to do that actually does cast Moncom in Chapter 4. Because it fills up all of your items, it fills up all of your money, it clears your debt. It's super broken.
Where do we get an IRL version of this?
Yeah, I'd like to sign up for that course.
Yeah.
Is there like a cave outside the hotel somewhere?
Yeah.
We have to wait for the eclipse, and find the money tree.
I feel like the advertisement for learning that spell is something you'd see at like 3 in the morning on like some infomercial or whatnot, and you know.
Well,
Sign up for
Well,
we
Mongo.
saw
payments.
the community college of magic instructor.
That's right.
You know, that's you definitely see him on an infomercial late at night.
So I just picked up the ally Farouk. He's the reason we needed to travel 50 years in the past. So now I'm ready to carpet back to basically the time door entrance. And now that we have Farouk, we'll be able to jump into water in the North Cape. Before we'd gotten Farouk, we would have died if we'd made that jump.
Looks like we also
He
took
gives
out
us
some
an item.
loans.
What is the item? Oh yeah, so and part of that shopping, money is really tight. We can get up to 500 coins for free just by borrowing it, but because we abuse game overs in this particular route, we're not borrowing everything at first. We'll do it again later.
By the way, this is what happens if you fail to escape 3 times in a fight. I've been getting these turn-based encounters showing up since I messed up doing the manip.
Oh my god.
This is now the second round where I'm stuck in here with these Sumrimas attacking me and
no.
taking damage.
Yeah, and there could be up to like what 7 submarinas on a screen.
Oh, like
yeah, I can get up
9,
that
I
high.
think.
Yeah, they'll
But they can
detain
call
you
And
for
then-
a
and they
long
keep-
time.
Just keep coming.
Yeah, they keep calling their friends. It's horrible. I in a shocking reversal, I actually managed to get the manip going. I got the one. I
Nice
got the
job.
encounter on the North Cape, but escaped on the second. Oh wait, I'm getting all of them. That's fine. I'm escaping. Oh, I am the dog in the room on fire.
So this is the water that they said they could jump
Yes.
into now that they have recruited Farouk.
So they're
The
gonna.
only
what
water
does he
that
give
they
us?
can jump into.
Yeah, other water's bad. This is good water.
Right.
Sort of.
Well, he just lets you breathe underwater. I don't know if he actually gives you anything. I think.
Oh, I thought it was a result of an
But
item.
he specifically just lets you jump in the North Cape. It doesn't really explain why it's just that water.
Yeah. So Synth is gonna pop over here into this town to recruit another.
Yes, but first, if you talk to this guy, you'll see his name is Beckel, and he will never leave this town no matter what, even when it's underwater and it's populated entirely by mermaids.
So this is technically
That
the
man
town
does
we
not
He's
were
been there
in.
for 50 years.
Yup.
He's been there
He's
for
been there
50
for
years.
50 years. This is the same
Yep.
town we were in only a few minutes ago, and now 50 years in the past it was not flooded, and now it is. But you know, Beckel's still there, so everything is fine.
Because did we tell you that this game has time travel? I don't know.
There's a lot
No,
of
we
Well,
did
time
it
not
does.
actually yet. say that.
and it's not just into the
Yeah.
past. You go to the future. This game's got it all.
Yeah. Now, okay.
Yeah,
So
it does.
before you can recruit this party member, he has a question for you. Have you ever tried to pick up a girl in the hamburger shop? And if you say no, he's like,
Ab-
"Hey, you're pretty cool. I'll come with you."
So Vonnie, have you ever tried
Yeah,
to pick up a
Kiba
girl in a
only
hamburger
likes
shop?
gentlemen.
I don't like to talk about that.
So in that particular case, if you say yes, they just kick you out, and it's fine. You can go back in. Later on, when you get asked certain questions by certain companions who want to join the party, and you say yes, you basically join the Dragon Lord, and
Oh,
it is a game
no.
over.
Oh no.
Yeah, it automatically instant game over.
Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm scared too. We should stay inside. And then you stay inside, and
Game
And
over.
you never come out.
you never come out. I mean, yeah, you can.
I mean,
can
sometimes you just want to
start
live
from
in
the
the
game over, but
You just want to live in the lava town forever.
yeah.
That's a spoiler for later, though. We'll get there.
Now, Synth picked up a rare drop from the enemy there. It looked like a wine glass filled with some sort of yellow liquid, and if I recall, that
Yum.
restores 20 HP.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one that is not the same color as you is HP drink, and it's 20 HP.
Yeah.
And we're gonna use a horn and shove it into these statues so that it lets us pass. Sometimes, and I don't think anybody knows yet. Like if you shoot the horn into its head, it will sometimes just awaken the gargoyles and you have to fight
They
them.
get mad.
By the way, this is a
Yeah,
boss fight, so there is a lot of flashing.
lot of
coming up
flashing.
soon.
Yeah, you're going to see the flashing firsthand.
Well, there's not that
Probably-
much flashing in this one in the 100% run because we don't use Voltor.
I was gonna
We've
say,
got
I
the
don't see
upgraded
that spell
rod.
going. So
Yeah,
So
those
here
are
I'm gonna
the-
take out
the-
Four
just
means
one
these
side
eyes
of
only
odds.
take one.
Eyes each cycle.
Yeah.
yeah,
In the
that's
any percent run, we
pleb
would not have done the
strat for
grind in the maze because we wouldn't have gone into the maze at all, and we wouldn't have the upgraded rod. And that means we'd be spamming a spell Voltor instead, which makes the screen flash. But this fight really isn't too bad as far as the flashing is concerned in 100%.
Until
About to get some
Yeah,
Until
there's
you
flashes
some
beat
right
it.
now,
flashing there,
though.
but yeah.
see, Vonnie, that flame rod does
Yeah,
wonders.
pretty helpful from what I understand.
It's very helpful.
yeah, flame rod or level 4 would have done it for you probably,
Oh,
or just
okay,
kept
well,
spamming Voltor at it.
yeah. No, instead I kept spamming heal because I was getting my face wrecked. And but anyway, that's not about this. We see we see the main villain here for the first time.
Yeah, that is Sabaron. He has kidnapped the Princess Scheherazade and
For his
her
evil
3 sisters,
desire.
Yes.
and their father for his evil desire.
So this chapter probably
Barbaloot, I need some help here, Barbaloot.
Okay.
Is there a reasonable place to buy a 4th Mashroob in Chapter 2?
You can buy
I
one in
didn't have
Alart.
enough. Alart, okay.
Alart, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't get the money bag drop that I wanted in Chapter 1. And
you can y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but chapter 2 is probably the chapter that changes the most in a 100% run. Like
easily, because we do any
yeah.
of it.
Yeah. This
So
grind,
yeah, in the any percent run, yeah, this grind would still happen in the any percent run. I would actually continue it a little bit more, but we're going to have more opportunities to get experience, so we can leave a little bit earlier. The goal is like we want to be level 7 at the end of this chapter, and so we get close to level 7 and then move on, and we just pick up the rest of the XP on the way. I
Or
also
you could just
pick
get
up,
level 7 there, too. I mean,
You can also just get level 7 there and just be done with it. That is true. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
And you know, that's totally fine. Stopping into this town here and leaving so that I can get that as a potential target to use a carpet to come back later. I'm gonna go into the past.
Now,
Hopefully, I will pick up.
Synth, you were asking about where you can buy a mashroob. Can you explain what it is that
Oh.
the mashroob does?
Yeah. Okay. So there are 2 healing items. One is a bread, and that you can use them yourself. You can make yourself consume them, but it's really better to just let the game do it for you. So when you run out of HP, you'll eat a bread and restore 50. When you try to go below 0 MP, if you have mashrooms, it will consume a mashroom and give you that 50.
Kinda
But we need
sounds
a
like a
bunch for this chapter 4
fairy
or
in
for
a
this
box.
chapter 2 boss. It is a little bit like a fairy.
the world is
So
so
one thing
verdant
about the
and green.
100% run in Chapter 2 is that we're going to need to take a game over warp at a point in the maze later on. Because of that, that means we'll need to die twice first and then do the game over. One of the deaths has to be at a specific screen in the maze, and we'll see why. And then there was some other death that we just needed to take at some point before then. And both Synth and I took that first death in Chapter 1. But we're going to need to watch HP now and make sure we don't die too early, because the whole death warp or game over warp gets messed up if we take too many deaths too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have spares now.
While you fellas are walking through the forest here and doing your thing, would this be a good time to send it on over to our host?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Oh, thank you kindly. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we do have some donations in. We got a $20 donation from Chaosix with no comment. Did want to recognize your generosity. Thank you so much. And we also have an anonymous $100 donation saying shout out and thank you to all the runners, hosts, and behind-the-scenes workers. Thank you kindly for that. But we're missing someone. Shout outs to you, Anonymous. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Chapter 2's whole conceit, and like why 100% is so different, is just there's a big maze to the west of the starting area. So you need to go on this big adventure to the past to find someone to help you navigate said maze. But if you're speedrunning, you just know the way through it.
But it's actually, you go to the past to find out that you need to get the robot guy to
learn a
translate
language.
stuff. So you go back to the present, and then you go back to the past and get the companion, and then you go back to the present, and you go.
Yeah,
So-
it's ridiculous.
So a couple of the spells that you see our runners using here, one of them is called Oprin. When you get to certain screens, you're going to see a little message on the bottom that says something about, there's some sort of, use Oprin here, and it will reveal, most often it reveals a staircase. You also saw Synth using a spell called Pampu. Pampu restores 10 restores 10 of your HP.
A lot of the spells are phonetically named, like Rain Calm makes it so you don't get hurt in the desert, because, rain. And then Monocalm makes money appear, and a lot of other things.
Yep.
Yeah, ideally I wouldn't have been using Pampu there, but I forgot to cast this one, which halves the damage that we take on the walks through the forest and the desert. So,
Aptly named.
but in any case, I'm gonna buy some extra mash rube. It'll be fine.
So, you said we go to the past to recruit a robot, right? Which is...
You have to go to the
And
past.
we go to the
talk
past to find-
La, who can't speak your language. That way, you find out that you need
Right.
the robot. The robot won't join you otherwise.
Got it. I wouldn't really
Yeah, the
try to go
robot is.
500 years ago to find a robot, but
Yeah. So now I'm returning to the past with the robot, and now we're gonna go talk to La, and we'll be able to understand him now.
Need 1 coin.
Yeah, and then you can go and get Supika, who will send you through the desert.
Yeah,
After you do
so
all
the top
that.
2 runners in the game use as their Twitch avatars the 2 companions that we do not get in this run, in the any percent run. So rBarbaloot is Gun Mecha, and Aaron2U2, shoutouts to Aaron2U2, is Supika. And
Yeah.
we've glossed over this a little bit. Vonnie said that we'll see like a message in the bottom that says, cast Oprin here, like talk to the townspeople. And that is our very friendly companion who's been with us this whole time. The Time Spirit, wonderful creature known as Coronia. And she's very important to remember. Because
Very.
you'll see, like when we get on the carpet and go between towns and stuff, which I should have actually done here. I don't know why I'm walking back to Halart. I should not be walking back to Halart.
You can save money buying a carpet in Chapter 3.
Yeah, you've already committed to it.
Yeah. Anyway, when we're just on the carpet going to towns, it's just you and Coronia, and it's very sweet. In
Okay, so
between
here I'm-
chapters, it's like the entire party's there.
Now, what-
Here, I'm entering the maze to rescue Supika. When we talked to La, he said he forgave Supika. And here comes a death warp right here. So I'm going to die right at this spot.
I forgot. What exactly did Supika do to...
Supika
we
stole Law's
respawn.
bread.
That's what
Right
it
there.
was, yeah. Was hungry.
Yeah, because
So
I
that was
accidentally
hungry.
just said yes.
Almost the entire maze. So now we just pick up Supika, who's at the end of the maze. And now we've got a quick way out of the maze, too. We'll just take a death here.
Yeah, this is so good.
Now, Seth, I wanted to ask you, when you were in the shop, there is an option there in the shop to ask for a discount. Are there any circumstances
Yeah, and we're gonna
in the
do that.
run where that happens?
Yeah. So the magician can get like the very minor discounts on stuff, and we don't bother. But later on, when we are a fighter, we're going to be getting, and a saint, I think, actually, we're going to be getting 50% discounts on the shopping.
Ooh.
It's gonna help out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the any percent run, we do all of that shopping in Chapter 4 and get a bunch of discounts there.
Okay, so here I'm
And
walking through
right
the maze
now-
desert. We can see
Yeah.
Supaka leading the way. In an any percent run, you could just, if you know the way, you could walk through without him. Also, with that game over, not only did we warp back conveniently to the starting town, but we also lost half our money. So it's going to be important to pick up money from here, since it's no longer going to get cut in half. We're going to need to spend 140 near the beginning of Chapter 3, including 50 that we'll pick up right here, and another 50 rupees in Chapter 3 at a similar spot. But on top of that, we'll need to be sure to pick up whatever coins we need to in the palace here to make sure we have enough to afford the shopping and or I guess the class change we need to do in Chapter 3. So this really is the money choke point of the run.
Yeah, otherwise, at least game overs are usually pretty gentle. Like you lose
Like, I'm gonna pick up
money,
these
but
coins.
you get to keep your anything you've done, plot progress-wise, items, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
experience.
And for
The,
those
the
of,
only downside is that it puts you back at the starting town and you lose half the money. That's
and
it.
for those of you scoring at home, that password that came up when you saw that game over had 43 characters in it. 43.
Uppercase and lowercase.
Uppercase and lowercase.
Yeah.
Nat.
Yeah,
Yes,
but you
of
only
course.
need 2 of them. Because if you type
That's
in
true.
a chapter number and W, or W and a chapter number, start either at the beginning or end of that chapter. with all
Does it
of
matter
that.
what the characters after that are?
No.
You could just do
Um,
A for the whole
I-
thing?
Well, if you just
you
do
just type
the
in W5. and
W2,
start it.
yeah. World
Start in
5,
chapter
yeah.
5.
Oh, you don't even need to
The
type in
characters
anything
after
else.
it matter if you type in a proper
Yeah.
password that it can read your stats from, but otherwise it just
Ah.
starts you at the beginning of the chapter with generic stats and items.
Yeah, you put it in 3 times and it'll say like, "Oh, the password is still wrong." I'll let you start in that in that world. If you put it in and it's still wrong, and then you do, and ask you for your name, and you just move on. So that's actually how we do the IL runs of this. Because let's just skip all that.
That's pretty neat.
Okay, so I just recruited Eppin, the last ally in this chapter, and also hit level 7, which we needed to do to learn the spell Flamel 1. We're about to
Which
enter
is
the
gonna
demon
cause
fight.
a lot
early.
of flashing.
So yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this boss is going to be very heavy on the flashing.
The first stage of this fight
Walk
is
to
going to be
LR
just
completely tank.
Yeah,
Tanked my
on
lead.
rBarbaloot's stream, it's just going to be flashing for a while.
Yeah.
this
And
first
I'm
stage
just
takes
Yeah,
walking
yeah,
eight
away
casts.
soon. So
it's
if the
8
host has something to say.
Yeah, it's 8 casts of Flayball in order to get to the second phase, or the actual phase, the fighting phase of this boss.
The true form.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll start this form out with 5 more casts of Flamel. And there's an interesting dynamic at work here that can also be really annoying depending on RNG. After each cast, she heals one of her arms randomly to full strength. And after the first 5 casts, some of the arms will die. We're hoping that she kept healing the same arm repeatedly as much as possible, so that as many arms die as possible.
Yeah, we want a good break here.
So right there, that was a pretty good break. Got 3 out of the 6 arms killed.
Oh, and
The
one of
rest
them
of
was
this-
a top arm. That's good.
Yeah.
The rest of this fight is annoying though because we didn't get the rod upgrade for this chapter. We skipped it because it's a speed run and also would cost money. So, okay, well, that fight actually went really well. But normally, it's annoying to have that slow-moving rod, especially shooting at fast or at top arms, which
Yes.
can move out of the way easily.
The fight is
There's also a
very
lag
laggy.
reduction feature in that chapter, or in that fight, where it only accepts inputs every other frame. So it can basically eat your inputs seemingly randomly, and that can be really frustrating.
It's like all the time. Just constantly mashing, just to like, did I cast this?
And if you miss a shot, you can't fire another orb until that thing is long gone.
until it's off the screen.
Which takes forever
Yeah,
since it moves so slowly.
In a casual run, you have, by this point, possibly an upgraded rod again, but that has 2 shots on the screen, and they're faster, right?
I think it's just faster. You don't get the 2 shots per screen until the Cimarron in Chapter 3. I think.
Okay.
Okay, so here I'm picking up 50 more rupias, and fortunately that brings me to over 140 coins. So that means I've got enough money to do the shopping and the class change I need to in the upcoming town. And from here, money will still be an issue throughout the game, but not as much of one as is getting to here.
Oh. Oh. Kali,
Come on, Curly.
Kali knows it's a speed run.
Synth is getting slightly trolled here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Ah,
finish
yeah,
off the
yeah,
last arm with
yeah.
the Flammelcast.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
call. Good call.
Sucks it used up my last match.
Well, that's mainly the point of having an extra mash rube there, is to
Yeah.
use it against Curly if
Yeah.
you need it.
Well, I thought I had worked it out. I had picked up an MP drink. So I thought I had enough.
Well, with us just starting to walk through the first part of the World 3 here, our host has anything to contribute? I think this will be a good time.
Yeah, certainly. I just want to make everyone aware of the progress on that glitch exhibition total that's going to be at the end of Fire Emblem 3 houses, currently sitting at $651 out of 3,000. Y'all are doing great, but we can definitely get that moving. If you like what you're seeing, from rBarbaloot and Synthpop is back,
Darn right it is.
there we go. Get your donations in, put them towards that total. Darn right, you should. All right, back to you, folks.
So here I'm walking into the town Casimil, and the first thing I'm going to do here is cast Oprin, and this is going to open a secret entrance to a university. One of the townspeople would have mentioned this if I'd talked to them. But
Yeah, that's
what
one
we're
of the
gonna do
rare
here-
times where Coronia doesn't tell you to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is take the Spricum course. We will need to pick up the spell just as part of 100%. But what we're going to get out of this is the R armor. And you'll quickly notice a difference here once I get out. Now my armor is purple. And this is similar to the blue ring in Zelda. Now my defense is permanently doubled. Here we also need to stop in
Yeah,
to
to
the mosque and change
Pointy
class to
doesn't work.
Saint.
It's actually, I think it might actually be like programmed as a permanent Deafeny because Deafeny doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah,
when
at
you
least
have
not in the
armor.
overworld.
Oh. Yeah, I don't do these ridiculous fights, so I don't know. Does it still work in random encounters?
Yeah, it still
If you have
doubles
the
your
R
defense.
armor? Oh my god. TIL about this game that I've run like 800 times.
Now, one thing I don't think we've mentioned it so far, but especially when you see, I see rBarbaloot doing it quite a bit, but Synth as well, that when they're walking through certain sections, they seem to be randomly jumping, even though they're not necessarily jumping over anything. Does anybody want to explain why you're doing that?
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
land, you have to snap the
snapping.
nearest tile. And so if you space your jump properly, you can snap forward a little bit. And doing it very efficiently throughout the run can shave seconds off. A task can shave many minutes off.
Oh, wow.
But it's just something to try to do when there's not too much going on the screen, just to try to squeeze a few seconds out of the run.
Yeah, they're basically frame cancels in a way, and so like they can save consecutively throughout the whole run, especially since this is like an hour run. If you're constantly doing that, it can add up throughout the whole run to be more than just seconds, to be minutes comparative, so I mean it just depends on how well you're able to execute it.
It's not gonna, you would have to roll incredibly for it to not pay off in some way.
But it can hurt you though, because if you land at a bad spot, you'll snap backward.
Yeah.
So the
Right,
ideal
almost
time
like
to jump
on
is when you would
average.
just barely to where you'd snap forward.
And rBarbaloot right now was doing the very first spelling test that you have to do in a game, where you need to.
So right there, I talked to the Cimarron tree. There's a place where you can talk to him in the present, and he says he's a newborn Cimarron tree. He doesn't have any power now, but come visit him in the future as a saint. And so that's what I just did here. We're now 30 years in the future, where Troll the Winter Demon has taken over, and so everything's snowy. And we talked to that tree. We gave him the password that he would have told us if we'd actually talked to him in the present. And now we have the upgraded Cimarron rod. It still looks the same now, as you can see, but I'm about to change class back to Magician now that we no longer need to be a saint, and suddenly the rod's going to get much stronger. Oh, okay, except I have to actually do the shopping first. I don't have the money for it. So yeah, we're going to be borrowing all the money we can from this shop here. I should have done it on the way there, or on the way into that room. But there's a trick here as far as maximizing loans. The game has a cap of 400 rupees that you can borrow, but if you get your debt to exactly 350, like I just did here, and then ask for 150 more, then it actually lets you borrow 500 instead of capping it at 400. I still can't borrow any more, but that is basically 100 free extra rupees. And while I'm here, I'm going to get 10 breads.
You to pay it back, but we never.
But we're not going to. And here, also as the saint, I can get the discount. So those 10 breads are 100 rupees instead of 200. I'll get some carpets as well.
I have a verbal mistake.
Wait, what did
I'm gonna
you
actually
do?
have to game over.
What happened?
I didn't pick up the free 50, so I couldn't change to.
You could borrow money in the shop. Just walk in, loan, get out. It just means you'll have to skimp on buying breads, probably, when you do that shopping trip. Okay, so as a magician with the Cimarron rod, now we get 2 shots per screen. This is very helpful.
And you see it turns into a star. Very helpful.
I know I walked into the screen that has the free 50 on it. I don't understand where all my money went.
Did you grab it?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I'm very confused.
All right, and
So
rBarbaloot,
yeah, I'm
where
just gonna do the shopping here.
I'm going south to Nubia to recruit the next ally, Pukin, who's going to be carved out of the Cimarron rod I got from that tree. Also, as part of the 100% run, we've got to pick up all the great magics, and so I'm picking up Sprycum right here. If this magic were cast during a solar eclipse, then it would bring spring where it's winter, and we'd no longer be gradually taking environmental damage. We actually don't get to cast any of the great magics, though, in a speedrun, because you can only cast them during a solar eclipse. And solar eclipses occur after being in a chapter in the overworld for about 11 minutes. We just don't have time to wait for that in a speedrun. Otherwise, it would certainly be nice to cast Moancum in Chapter 1 and get all of every item.
Yes, that would be incredibly nice.
And so here we recruit the horrifying pumpkin monster, Pukin. And now
His
we're ready to go
transparent
back to the
eyes.
present.
I mean, I routed in Moncom in the 100% run when I first started running it, but, you know, someone had to make it all optimized and take it out.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
never
I miss
forgive you
like
for
this from casual
removing our
playthroughs.
ability to cast Moncom.
Let me stop those beeps. I don't know whose game audio is playing, but in case it's mine, I'll turn the beeps off by peeling.
I believe we are enjoying the dulcet tones of synthpopisback's audio.
Okay, well, I can beep all I want then.
There you go. Don't let us stop you.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, I don't know what happened, but now I'm a saint, and so I can talk to the Cimarron tree and tell it that no, it did not promise 1,000 rupees. I wish it did promise me. And I can type in the password.
Chocolat.
I'm unsure if it was meant to. The main conceit of this chapter is that, like, a troll is going to cause an ice age or, like, a horrible winter, so you travel into said horrible winter to get the means to stop said troll in the present.
Yeah, this is the one time that we go to the future.
How far into the future do we go?
This,
30 years?
30?
is it 500 years?
30.
Oh, 30 years. Okay.
It's 500 years in the past in chapter 2.
Yeah. And then we go 3,000 years in the past for...
Chapter 4. So the good news is, after that game over, since I had that free or that spare carpet, I didn't need to actually walk to Casimir, at least.
Oh, huh.
But now I need to do the shopping. Did the same thing that Barbaloot did.
Oh, you walked in
but
for the last
much
change
more
and hadn't
dangerous
gotten
because I
loans
actually
yet?
had the money to do it.
Oh.
So I did get the loans.
Oh yeah, that would have been really
earlier.
bad because you would have changed to magician and not be
Yeah.
able to get the discount.
Right. All right. so
Ooh,
where's the
that,
discount?
yeah.
Four carpets for the discount.
And rBarbaloot is now recruiting Mustafa, who you need to figure out which troll is...
But you need
Right.
Mustafa to get into that room to begin with, otherwise it's locked. And he does make you pay him
Mustafa also
100
does
rupees.
slow it down.
Yeah, he does do that.
Yeah, so Troll moves super fast. We needed Pukin to be able to just see our way through mazes and stuff, right? Because he's a jack-o'-lantern.
I think it's the Cimarron
Like-
rod that lets you see through that maze. But you need
Oh.
Pukin to make Troll appear. Also here we have the first
Nice.
wizard fight that happens in the game. Fortunately, this one's a pushover because you can just cast Korbach and shrink him. There is another one of these coming, and they do start with flashing lights, so beware.
And you can step on those enemies when you turn them all tiny like that. It's really funny to just walk on
Yeah.
them and stomp them.
Yeah, some of them get turned into like hamburgers, and then you stomp on the hamburger.
The waste of a good burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but the wizard burger would taste very good.
I wonder if this has anything to do with the burgers you would get at the shop we were trying to ask a girl out or something.
Yeah,
I feel like
true.
there's got to be some sort of
You
connection.
never drew a connection there.
It all comes full circle.
Yep. This is why I'm here.
As long as it wasn't at Nessie Burger.
Probably a mistranslation from like a rice ball or something, right?
It could be.
It's not really donut, or it's not really a burger. It's a jelly donut. Like the old Sailor Moon version.
That is a big enemy formation.
Oh boy. Oh, shit.
Oh no, what'd you get? Oh, you didn't get stuck in it. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was one with 6 enemies. I don't remember exactly which one. Guileless Regiment, maybe, or Air Regiment.
Yeah, I like how when there's certain combinations of enemies in those RPG encounters, they have they're like the air team or they have these
Magic Squad.
Yeah, the Magic Squad. Yeah.
Yeah, their names like upgrade as you go through the chapters, and you get like different palette swaps of the enemies. So it's like squad and division and brigade or something like that.
And another feature that we don't see in the speedrun is that you can recruit or your own allies can be formed into formations. For instance, Koronia and Farouk form the Cygnus formation, and certain formations of your allies are strong against certain formations of the enemies.
Oh.
So if you pick the right formation, then you can wipe out the enemies pretty quickly. And there are
there's a
university
big
classes you can
strategy
take
with
that tell you which formations to use against which enemy formations.
So Barbaloot is fighting the troll right now, and the troll is probably my second least favorite fight, because you just basically pick a spot between 2 trolls and fire between them and hope it becomes the real one and hit it. Like, it's not worth it to chase around the red one, but you do have to hit the red one. And it's just going to be
It is
nonstop
RNG heavy,
flashing.
but fortunately it doesn't actually make that big of a time difference if this part goes badly. I mean, as for this part here, we just shoot him 12 times. And in fact, if he runs into you, it doesn't actually damage you. But if this goes on long enough, then he can shoot projectiles at you, which do damage you.
Or turn you into a
And
mini, and then you're SOL because you can't turn back.
Yeah, he can transform you, and if you don't have ambulance, you can't transform back. And you can't shoot while you're transformed.
You also definitely don't want to let him start walking on you, because your rod shots will spawn outside of his hitbox. If pretty much like if he's close enough to you.
Right.
So you want to stay away from him. So you'll see. We saw Barbaloot do a little shimmy walk where he was like walking to one side and shooting, turning around, shooting.
I think it may be what it is both you and Troll are in iframes when he runs into you, and so you're hitting him during his iframes.
Oh,
he's
he's in
when he's on you.
Okay, that would make sense.
Okay, by the way, in the leveling at the end of Chapter 3, the last spell we learned, the one at level 15, is called Ramapas. And what it does is reduce the frequency of both overworld enemies and turn-based encounters. And we're going to be using that extensively the rest of the game to get out of turn-based, or to avoid turn-based encounters showing up. The way that it works is every formation, or I guess it's going to avoid every encounter for the rest of the game except for the encounter screens that are multiples of 8, counting from the start of the game. So if we always had Ramapas up, we would get the 40th encounter, 48th encounter, 56th encounter, and so on. So what we're going to do is make sure we have Ramapas up every time we cross an encounter screen that's not divisible by 8, and make sure it's not up when we cross an encounter screen that is. And doing that properly means we have only, I think, 2 more opportunities to get encounters the rest of the game. 2 or 3.
You know, I've noticed that there are times where you walk on and off of a screen to either spawn or despawn enemies. Now you've got magic spells that help you avoid all enemies together. Is Magic of Scheherazade inspired by Willow?
I think it might be.
Yeah, this is the crossover I wasn't expecting.
It's wild. Where,
Why do you think I've been telling you to play this game for so long?
Okay, now it all makes sense.
Like, I was like, if there is anybody on Twitch who should be playing this game and isn't right now, it is on.
Okay,
This is so up your alley.
Do you think you
I'm
could get us notes, Synthpop? Maybe include the flame.
There are
rod.
speedrun guides.
Yeah.
There's a speedrun guide for both the easy and hard routes.
Right now, rBarbaloot is farming for coin bags.
And
Yeah.
experience. Mainly experience, really. I'm going to stay here until 5,800 experience, because we need to be level 17 to have a chance against Salamander, the demon at the end of this chapter. And until I've gotten 260 coins, I'm also going to keep crossing the screen every time so that I would pick up a money bag drop if he drops one.
Sounds
And
like
this particular enemy has about a 50% chance of dropping a money bag, so it's easy to rack up lots of money quickly here. But we'll be spending it all in a shopping trip shortly after this grind.
sounds like
Yeah,
a good
unfortunately,
time for
I
a
was
donation.
also grinding for one of those things. Back in chapter 3, grinding for money bags.
Yeah, Cat.
Speaking of money bags,
Yeah, exactly. Iggy, if you wanna, if you have things to say, go ahead.
I do appreciate it. And hey, Vonnie Vaughn, I'm glad you found your next speed game here.
Yeah.
I do want
Yeah.
to actually remark on a comment earlier up in chat saying the vibe for this race is way too chill for a race, and I kind of love it. I'm feeling that. That is a massive mood. But yes, a donation. We have ourselves a $25 donation from Prof Ness. They say, last day hype. Thanks for a great event. See you next year. Hey, thank you for your support, Prof Ness. We do appreciate it. And of course, RPG Limit Break 2022 proudly is raising money for NAMI. NAMI serves as the preeminent resource for people researching for life-changing guidance, information, and support as they navigate mental health conditions. Their website alone serves more than 12 million unique visitors annually. And of course, that is the website for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. You can find them over at nami.org if you want to check them out.
I'm seeing rBarbaloot get up to some shenanigans here that I've never seen before.
a preview of the walking on water shenanigans that we're going to be doing in chapter 5. He likes to do some swag that I am way too afraid to do under even practice circumstances. Like, I'm not willing to do these.
Oh.
Yeah, there are
High five on the
some
encounter.
places where he can jump, where we can jump over gaps that you would have to walk around and stuff like that, and it's quite nice.
All right, we're back on troll.
Finally
and
getting
top
into the
screen.
Yeah,
fight.
lots of
Lots
flashing
of flashing
here.
on this one.
Yeah.
I'll say
Yep.
the plot premise, as far as I understand, of chapter 4 is that Salamander is making things way too hot. There's a lot of lava everywhere. And so he's too strong to defeat in the present, so you need to go 3,000 years ago to defeat Salamander, which is a plot point that's probably never been used in any other NES games.
When Salamander is a baby, also.
Yeah,
I just have to let you know,
'cause you need
when
to go
Salamander is a baby, you're going to go kill a baby. Okay?
They literally tell you, like, it's too powerful now when it was younger, and maybe you can have a chance. So we go back to when it was a baby, and we have, like, less than a 50-50 shot of getting out of it.
Look, we
It's
did
a
it to
It
Gaius,
is
we
humongous
did it to
RNG
Chaos.
ball.
We're gonna do
It
it
is
to
still the
Salamander.
run killer.
The Salamander boss fight is especially heinous, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, it's one of the things I actually wish we had the Arabian Dream Scheherazade version of Salamander fight, because hitbox on Salamander is gigantic in that version, and it's like a single tile in the US version. And he takes up the whole screen. It's ridiculous.
Nice job on that troll fight there, Synth.
Yeah, it seemed to go
Yes.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Swift
Yeah.
kill.
Yeah, he cooperated pretty well. rBarbaloot's like 90% of the way through chapter 4.
Ooh, we haven't
Yeah,
gotten
like
to the Yelp yet.
other than chapter 2, like we talked about how, we normally skip huge chunks of chapter 2. Like most of the stuff that happens that's from the any% route is like just going and getting the great magic. Because the only like actual equipment upgrades that we really need are in the last chapter. They're the rod and sword upgrades and armor upgrades from the last chapter. But even that, it changes things just enough that it like messes with when you shop and when you do other stuff. Like it's very strange, like what you're buying. Like under normal circumstances in an any percent run, I would not have bought those 10 mushrooms that rBarbaloot just bought. But because we have to do a grind in chapter 5, and the most efficient way to do that grind is by expending huge amounts of MP, we buy 10 mushrooms in this chapter to account for that. So it's weird. Like you have weird knock-on effects from like minor changes. The fact that we need to get to level 23 in chapter 5 instead of 21 means that we need to buy all sorts of different stuff that we normally wouldn't.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. You're required to be a certain level in order to beat the game? Is that what I'm
We need to get
understanding?
Flannel 3.
Oh.
We need to have a full magic list.
Why does that
and
sound
get
Yeah,
the
so
last
familiar?
magic up.
The last one is 23. Yeah.
I've never seen a game at Loonbrick where you
Yeah.
needed to level up to fight the last boss.
Yeah.
Specifically.
That is, huh? What an interesting mechanic.
I'll be honest.
It's strange, right? So hard. It's not a hard level cap. It's just for the 100% route because we need a full magic list.
Okay. It still counts.
This is just more reasons that you're going to pick up this game and run it.
I think
Exactly.
I think now that I'm being called out on RPG Limit Break for this, it's a requirement at this point.
I'll be honest, if someone asked me to like bet money that you would pick this game up at some point in the next 6 months after this,
Yeah.
I would have put money on it.
Oh, of course.
Bonnie the action RPG guy,
Right.
come on.
I am typecast.
I mean,
if
I
nothing
know
else.
RPG. Weren't you gifted this game?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Weren't you gifted this game in some sort of secret Santa?
I was. Yes. Shout outs to my friend the RPG chick for introducing me to playing this game on stream, and I did have fun with it. I certainly did. But now sounds like I'm gonna be having a whole lot more fun with it.
Awesome.
There's a fire rod in this game too.
Oh, really?
There is.
There is.
Does it shoot vicious death bubbles?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
That's the last
Ah.
death bubbles.
Wow. All right.
Looks like rBarbaloot's coming up to the Yump.
Yump.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that I'm not going to be doing.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's a
And when you
lot harder
fail
than
it,
it looks,
it-
everybody.
It's not. There are some other ones where it's like if you fail it, it's whatever. Like you spawn in a good spot. Do not spawn in a spot there. If you fail that,
Gotcha.
spawn on the lava.
Is
Yeah.
that
On the bright side, though, sometimes failing it can be a helpful HP refill. You just have to then make the jump
Yeah.
next try.
is that jump pixel perfect?
No, you have like 8
No.
8 pixels of leeway in both dimensions.
Oh, that's good.
Wrong spell. Whoops.
Yeah, but it's still too sticky.
And also, if you walk up too far, or if you walk up too early, you'll fall into the lava before getting to that corner. So you have to basically get to the corner, then align yourself in both dimensions, and then jump.
Yeah, I have like a specific setup that I use for it that seems to work, but it's very hairy. And we're about to have another Yump. Woo!
Yeah, that one's not as bad.
Yeah, it's just one
It can
dimension.
still- it can
You just
still
have to be
get you,
down far
though.
enough.
It can still get. You have to walk what feels like an uncomfortable distance into that lava.
Yeah.
before you can jump, make it to the other side.
How much time are these yumps saving us?
That first one that he did, probably 30 seconds.
Oh, nice.
Which I'm losing back
the
in this fight right
second
now.
one-
Oh no.
Oh no.
Nope.
The second one probably saves like 10 if you head down all the way.
That hit you for 32?
Yeah.
Poor Lena. 40?
Yeah, these are brutal.
Also, I'm just
Yeah,
realizing that I left that Ifrit grind too early, and I'm not about to hit level 17, so I'm gonna have to stay in the palace and grind a little bit before fighting Salamander.
I
Oh,
noticed
So
what is
this will
that?
cost some time.
8860.
No, it's 6,000. Normally
Oh,
I leave that
6,000
grind
for
at 5,800, but I think this time I got enough money and then just walked off without noticing my experience.
I noticed that Synth is already at level 17.
I hit 5,800 and needed 100 more rupees,
Ah,
so I had to stay and
Synth
grind
takes
for
the
money.
experience
got
lead.
it. Got it. Okay.
But
Is
yeah, like
grinding
I'm.
Barzils maybe the most efficient way to do this? No, this is really slow.
Yeah, they give a lot of XP, but I don't know that that's.
These
how
guys
the
give
right-
5.
I think Kibra's. I
5?
think Kibra's is the way to do
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I think. Yeah,
because you can hit them. Like you can kill
yeah,
them when you get.
much faster to
20
get
per
20
screen.
there than 50 here, and then have to walk off the screen.
Yeah, the dragons are definitely also not. The right one.
Oh yeah, those are horrible. 10 and they take forever to kill.
Well, while Synth is being pulled into the time portal, Iggy, do you have anything for us at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. We got ourselves a $100 donation from Venkalos. They say back for another donation. It's been a spectacular week, and I'd like to thank the tech team in particular. Pulling this off is a huge challenge, and you've all been wonderful. Well, thank you kindly. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Barbaloot, I missed it. Did you talk to anybody in the town?
Yes, I did. The fairy told me I should listen, but first said, hey.
This game's ahead of its time. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I should have healed up before walking in. Whoops.
We'll,
I should be
we'll
okay.
also
but-
see close to
So
the
yeah,
end
here he is.
how this is how this was an inspiration for Utah.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Oh, this game heavily inspired Newtopia too.
And let's see if Sally is a pally for our rBarbaloot. So this is the
Oh,
fight that we
Salamander.
were talking
Come on,
about.
Salamander.
He-
Salamander, be a palamander.
I always felt
So-
Salamander kind of looked like the abominable snowman. From
Yeah.
Frost.
He kind of does.
But Salamander will just randomly decide I'm leaving, and Rainy will have to resummon Salamander, and you have to watch the whole animation of it scrolling back on screen.
Oh my.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not random.
Yeah,
he,
the
he
single-
goes in
the
after a
single
consistent
cycle-
amount of time.
Yeah.
Each cycle takes about 36 seconds, and during the cycles, his movement is random. And so it's not easy to reliably hit him, because he can
You don't
always
have
dodge
a
out of
suit.
any shot.
Am I mistaken, or does he heal a little bit when he comes out of the fire
Yeah.
field?
So he starts
So he
with
heals 20%
255
of his max HP.
Well, yeah, he starts with 255 HP, and every time he comes out of the fire field, he gains 50 HP. And at level 17, each of our rod hits are doing 16 damage. So that means if we don't get at least 4 hits, Salamander actually healed overall from that cycle. And also, after 15 cycles, Rainy is going to run out of MP and not be able to summon Salamander anymore.
Oh, I didn't even know that could happen.
After how many cycles?
15,
Oh my goodness.
based on Rainy's max level 16 MP when I recruited him.
And I've definitely seen many fights with Salamander go well up to that point.
Yeah, this fight going well or going
yeah.
poorly can make the difference of several minutes in a run.
Yeah.
And lots of runs die
Or-
here. This is a very
Yeah,
mean
whether
boss.
or not your run finishes.
That being said, this fight's going great. He's already really low on health, and I've been through, what, 4 cycles, I
I
think?
was going to say it's about 4 by my count.
For the if you were casually playing this, could you level up Rainy?
Well, you can level
You can
up
get yourself leveled up.
to 19, and you can have a different rod. You can have the crystal rod, right? Yeah, crystal rod. Yeah, we're in for it. So,
Yeah, you can buy that,
crystal.
but it's prohibitively expensive and out of the way in a speedrun. And level 19 means the rod hits do 20 damage instead of 16, which makes a huge difference. But it also just takes too long to do to be practical in a speedrun. But the old any percent route long ago actually stayed in this chapter long enough to level to 19 and get a solar eclipse. And then during that solar eclipse, you could cast Moncum and totally refill all your items as well. But then someone came along and screwed it up.
Yeah, someone did.
Bastard.
Whoa.
It's okay, we love you, rBarb.
Yeah.
So, all right. The biggest surprise for me with this game was back in, what was it now, like 2019, maybe, or like early 2020. I guess it was probably 2019. Like, you had just finished the task, which was something horrific, like 50 minutes long or something like that. It was a good 15 minutes faster than a human run. And then one morning, and there's all of a sudden 2 new world records for the game that are both sub-hour. And I had no
Mine was
idea what was
almost
happening.
sub-hour. Aaron's was sub-hour.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, yours was like a couple seconds over, and Aaron's was actually an hour. And I was like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. I went to bed, everything was normal, and then I wake up and we're like on water and doing all sorts of random. It was,
And you're all about to see
shocking.
what the new tech is, because it happens early in Chapter 5.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the beginning of Chapter 5.
So,
It's awesome.
Chapter 5 is the same area as Chapter 4, but without Salamander's influence, right?
Yeah, so now it's all lush
nice
and green.
Yeah, we went far enough back in the past that we don't even bother going to a new world. It's great.
Do I recall y'all were working on a rando at some point, or is there one?
That is
Now
still
there's one in
in
development.
works. Yeah, I'm bad at stuff, and
Yeah, that's always the magic word with me.
we do have randomized seeds that people can play.
Ooh.
Yeah, that have been played by a couple of us. Mostly you, Aaron, and rBarb.
Yeah, we've done. I think I've done maybe like 10 of the seeds. I think there are 20 of them that have been, I think, verified to be beatable. Even the ones that we haven't played yet.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I feel like this would be a good time to toss it on over to Iggy if you've got anything for us there.
Yeah, I certainly do. We got ourselves an anonymous $25 donation. Wanted to recognize your generousness. Thank you so much for that donation, contributing towards NAMI. And we do have some movement going on that glitch exhibition for Fire Emblem. Currently at $751. We're nearly reaching that 1,000. Out of that 3,000 total, everybody, let's keep those donations coming on in. Let's do it.
Okay, lots of flashing coming up on my side here. We're about to do a grind, but it's really fast. Voltor 3 can actually kill the pieces of Ifrit before he forms, and we can get up to 250 experience per screen doing this quickly enough. 50 for each piece, and then 50 for the Ifrit. But I've never been able to get more than 4 per screen. And it's not purely just a matter of being fast enough. Sometimes you can cast it before he's formed, and it doesn't kill any of them. I'm not entirely sure how it works.
But
it does make this part of the grind really fast.
Pieces, of Ifrit before he forms, then you get 50 XP for each one of those pieces as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
They each count
Right there, I got
as an enemy.
250 on that screen. I'm going to want to leave this
That's
grind when I have
amazing
4 Mash Root
tech.
left, just to have MP for the rest of the chapter. And also, we need to be sure not to hit level 22 too early, for reasons I'll explain later. In fact, yeah, this is probably where I should stop that grind right here.
Alright, Sally, come on.
Gotten 5 hits each cycle.
We got Aaron TU2 in chat over here saying, Sally, be a pally. Again.
Shout out to Aaron.
Okay, by the way, here comes the new tech that shaved 4 minutes off the speedrun a couple years ago.
This is
Any percent run.
Right, yeah. Although it does shorten the 100% run too. But normally you're supposed to go way, like through a maze to the past and then through a dungeon to pick up the legend sword. You then bring it to someone in that town and he tells you to walk between 2 trees. And when you go there, a bridge forms between them and lets you walk down here. But if you don't have the legend sword, the bridge won't form even if you walk between the trees. However, those shenanigans on the left of the screen actually let you get down to the screen without the bridge being there. And so you can just get the light armor before you're supposed to be able to have it.
Yeah, that part of the bridge is set, so you just jump right on it.
Synth is almost done with Salamander here, gotten it down pretty well. Hopefully it'll just be a couple more cycles here.
Oh no. That was cycle, so I just lost some progress.
But now we just, rBarb just picked up LibCom, which...
That is the last of the great magics that we need.
Yeah. I'm using an RC to cross.
Yeah, you save a couple seconds by using that R-seed there to walk right across there. The R-seed makes you invincible and it makes you float. So there is actually a safe version of that water shenanigans that he does to get to the light armor that uses the R-seed instead of you having to fall into the water and die there.
You still have to wiggle at the side of the screen, though. You can't just equip an R-seed and try to walk straight down there.
Yeah, you still have to do that.
Otherwise, it'd be way too easy.
I mean,
come on, Salamander.
It would be awesome. Sally is no longer being a pally.
Yeah, I just got that encounter there, so apparently my manip count is off, or else the Ramapos cast had worn off, and I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, at least you got out of it really quickly, though.
Okay, so level 22... Or actually, I guess I should wait until Synth finishes the Salamander fight. It's like it's getting down to the wire there.
I don't know that we have enough time to wait for that. Might run over estimate if we have to wait for that. Go ahead and say what were you gonna say?
Okay, so level 22 occurs at 12,550 experience, and I really need to be sure not to hit level 22 too early. The reason is, level 22 is one of several levels throughout the game that's a key level, where if you have no keys when you hit that level, then you'll get a free key. Now, right now, I have one key. I never bought one. I got it at level 5 because that was a key level. We need this key to pick up the Legend Sword in this dungeon, and then we'll need a key to meet Sabaron later. So, if I hit level 22 before using this key, then I don't get the free key for that level, and it means I have to go out of my way to buy an extra key to get into Sabaron's room. So we have to be sure we hit level 22 after picking up the Legend Sword, so that we don't have that key and can get a free one.
And that key is really out of the way if you have to go and buy it.
Yeah. It's near where that Legend Sword skip was.
Yeah.
Where I got the light armor.
It's in POW.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Should we fight the fire party? Let's take them out.
Yeah, you probably should.
Do,
We'll both just be fighting horrible fire monsters.
Atos formations. Okay, I guess I'll start with the Thundern. This is the formation attack here. So all 3 allies are combining to do this. That took out all the little
What those the little
steroids.
animations that pop up in that window? It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really love those animations.
This game has, if nothing else, which it has a lot going for it, but if nothing else, it's got so much charm.
Yeah, just everything about it is pretty cool. Culture Brain was really good with just genre mashing anything and everything together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Nice job.
Oh, what an absolute
That was-
troll of a boss.
That was my last possible opportunity because I had no breath
Yeah, I was gonna
left.
say, was that
If-
15?
If it cast the
or-
fire magic again, I was gonna die.
Well, I appreciate you extending that for drama.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I figured if he's gonna take the time out to showcase a random encounter fight, like I should, I should pause. And,
Oh, that hit
things
level
fair for him.
22. I got
Oh,
enough experience for that
no.
fight to hit level 22 just before picking up the Legend Sword.
Oh, no.
I think we've got a race here.
Oh, no. Well, now.
I did not think that through.
Bonus
That was
content.
bad.
All right.
So there goes that
well,
key.
at least you can get the sword.
and- Yeah. But I'm going to have
But
to,
yeah,
I guess,
you don't have.
yeah, carpet to POW, and then, wait, I don't have a carpet.
You have.
Yeah,
Fair
this is
Oh,
bad.
no.
Oh, boy. Well, now.
I mean,
how about
yeah,
this?
what do I even do here?
Yeah.
could game
I
over.
guess game over warp, except I've got,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to die twice for that, and I have 4 breads.
Well, while you figure this out, Iggy, why don't you
Yeah.
distract
Well,
us
This is
with,
like
you know,
this.
stuff and things?
Is there any water in here? I think there's some water in this. Maybe
Don't
not.
think so.
Mm.
I would love to, while you guys route out this interesting end to this race on the fly,
Perfect.
I want to show some love for some of our community artists, the amazing Kari Fry, who designed the RPG Limit Break logo, as well as Mega Wheezy and its Casa, who are responsible for some of the emotes that you gain access to by subscribing to the RPG LB channel. All revenue from subs and the ads that we run will help us to run future RPG Limit Break marathons, but do not fret. 100% of the donations through that donation landing page go straight to Nami. So thank you everyone for your contributions to the channel, as well as to an amazing cause in Nami.
And just as a reminder, when it comes to the donations, we do have a marathon-long goal of hitting $100,000, and we are approaching that 3/4 of the way mark, but we do not have a whole lot of marathon left. So for those of you that have been maybe hesitating, saving up for that big donation, the time is now. We are unfortunately going to have to pack up shop in just a matter of hours, sadly, but any donations you can make in the meantime are a huge help. A huge help.
I feel those donation
um,
trains might be leaving the station soon. I just want to mention that, everybody. $5, $10, anything to get that 100,000 goal, as well as meet those incentives. Let's
Yeah.
get them in.
Getting gassed up, ready to
Speaking
go.
of people not thinking things through clearly, I made the mistake of pledging that I'm going to donate $5 for every minute that I lose this race by.
Oh, thank you so much for your magnanimousness. Wow, everybody, let's get some applause in chat for that.
I mean, it's not,
boy.
it's not going to be that,
Wow.
but it's more than I probably.
Well, okay, so if I fight another random encounter for fun, does that mean I'm depriving Nami of money? Should I do that?
I think you just have to make up for it. All right. Oh, please don't screw this up. So I have done this. I have never done this on this TV with this controller. And I'm freaking out. Okay.
You got it.
All right.
Yeah, you have to walk like half a tile on water before it like registers that you are in the water and makes you die.
Okay, well, since I had to walk all the way across the world back to this tech town to buy a key, I might as well talk to Kaji while I'm here. This is the guy that tells you about the bridge down below when you have the legend sword.
Yeah, it says that he's keeping a secret for you or something like that, I think is what Hassan tells you, right?
I think so. Either that or an NPC. But now we'll stop in here, get a key, and also a carpet to get back.
Oh no! Oh, nice. You should got out of there right away.
Ah. Okay, I'm doing this in the wrong spot. I need to do this elsewhere. This is fine.
Okay, so now I'm just walking back to the final dungeon, basically where I just was, although I hadn't entered the dungeon yet.
I'm going to cut in with a donation if that's okay, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got $100 coming at us from Brandon C. No comment, but again, I do want to recognize your generosity to Nami. Thank you kindly. And yeah, we are getting some activity on that donation total. But as said, we don't have much marathon left when it comes down to it. So get those donations in. It is for a great cause. We don't want to get them. Thank you.
I don't understand why that happens sometimes. Like there's a weird thing that happens occasionally where like the Boltors stop doing little bits of the Ifrit.
Yeah, it's random and weird.
Spamming a bunch of Boltors. Okay.
If you see that one cast doesn't damage him, then none of the other casts after that will either. You should just wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now rBarb's going back.
Yeah, he's going to the palace. Let's not get the sword.
Well, no, I got the sword already.
No,
I got that
so
right
you're
after.
going to the palace.
Oh.
I'm going to
Yeah,
get
I'm
the
going
sword.
to Sabaron's palace, right, yeah.
Yeah. There are spoilers coming up. Like it's actually kind of a surprising thing
We
here.
got a
So
couple
if
minutes before that.
maybe, yeah. but just to warn people like Vonnie that maybe don't want to have that part spoiled for them.
No, I'm all the way in for the long haul, so it's okay.
We're just gonna go to Sabron and have our final encounter, and that's it.
Don't forget, you're gonna have another spelling test.
Be careful, Lena. Sabaron is in the next room.
Poor Lena.
Alright, that's the university. This is the palace.
And so we're just making our way through the palace. There is a nice little magical.
Spoilers coming up on my
refill
screen,
spot
and
that's
this
down.
is also why I needed the key.
I've made a terrible mistake.
I love it so much. This game.
Just immediately like, well, I may have made some calculated errors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you get
Wow,
all
what
you
a
get all like
turnabout.
hype. You get all hyped up to actually do this like big fight at the end, and then he's like, "Oh man, please help me."
Like, well, here's a spelling test, and if you fail, we both die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, go solve the problem I started. Bye.
Yeah, and I hope you paid attention to that name the whole time you were playing this game, because you were never
Yeah,
asked
so that's the
before
thing.
to spell.
This game is it's got a lot of weird little puzzles, right? Like we've been talking about like, oh, we got to go to this and talk to this person so that we can go get this guy because they stole some bread from this other dude, and like it all sounds like really, really like obscure, but if you go talk to literally, like they tell you, like the solutions are available. Like that is just a little bit of a riddle at the end, like name you're supposed to put in, but like it's not unreasonable that would be or that you put in, or the name that you put in.
Yeah.
So I feel like the game does a good job of like the answers are there if you just go looking for them.
No, I think we might get a great magic showcase. I just got an eclipse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Except that
nice.
we can't do Raincome or Sprycome because we're not in the desert or the snow, unfortunately. But we do get to see
Yeah.
Moancome, that means. So
That's awesome.
I guess, yeah, let me go ahead and do that here. So this is the spell that the game gives you in Chapter 1. Just get to this screen here. Which basically is easy mode. The Rukia tree has sprouted.
And look at all
Now
of
I'm
our
fully
supplies.
stocked up on every item.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
$9.99 monies.
yep.
10
Also, that
mushrooms.
clears all debt.
What?
Yeah, as if giving you max money, it also clears your debt if you had like over 500.
Also, I suppose that just forfeited me from the race since I no longer can get a complete list of magics. So GG Synth on the win.
Hey.
I think we'll give you a pass for that.
I thought you just had to get it. I didn't know you had to keep it.
Yeah, well, while we're at it, let's use Wisdom, too.
The idea is I think that you're supposed to validate the run at the end by showing the screen with everything in it.
Yeah, it's,
And so you can't
I can't
do
do that now.
Although your world record doesn't do that anyway, so it's fine.
yeah.
So what does like debt do to you in the long run?
You get a guy
Eventually,
who
like,
yells at you.
yeah,
and
the
he's got
shopkeeper
eye
will
popping
show
out
up.
his
Enemies
face.
here.
The shopkeeper will show up and tell you like, oh, your debt has increased, and then when you go to the shops, I think they like will take some of your money to pay back part of the loan. I'm not really sure on that.
Well, the shopkeeper periodically reminds you that of your debt, but doesn't do anything until the interest compounds enough that the debt gets over 999. In which case, the shopkeeper actually says, "You've become bankrupt. You need to stop gambling," and it's a game over.
Ooh.
What?
But I've only found,
That
yeah,
is
I've only found
spicy.
that from messing with the tasks. It would probably take leaving the game on for days and dismissing that message every time he shows up for it to actually happen.
Feels like a new speedrun category, personally.
Maybe.
Bankrupt
awesome.
percent. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bat and Kaitos, we're coming for you.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, the shopkeep
Yeah.
looks rather hilarious though when he reminds you of your debt. He's very upset. He's practically got steam coming out of his forehead, and his eyes are bulging out of his face.
It's an incredible portrait, honestly. We have had it before where somebody was not paying attention when they were typing in this password, and they typed in the password and then got a game over.
Oh.
Yep.
I think that was in a race, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That's horrible.
Yeah. All of the bad things have happened. I was in a race with rBarbaloot one time, and I got like a 3-cycle salamander fight, and then my inputs stopped working from my controller, and
What?
it would have been a PB. It would have been like a massive
no.
PB, and just fell apart.
Horrible. So it appears that rBarbaloot is in outer space.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, yeah,
he's
it'd
in
be
the
kind of
dark
hard to
world
see
now.
because of the solar eclipse, but there is a red ground there. And you can tell you're walking the right way because the ground stays red as opposed to turning white like it is on that front screen. But it's darker than usual because of the solar eclipse.
Oh, now it's lightened up a little bit.
Yeah, this is how it normally looks without the eclipse. I guess on this screen it gets reset anyway. But we are heading into the final boss fight.
Now, Aaron in chat was nice enough to mention the flashing lights warning for this final boss,
Yeah.
everybody. Just want to let you know.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. So it's
I'm
gonna be
positioning myself
6
right here deliberately.
and 5.
We're going to try to one-cycle him, kill him in the next stage before he reverts to this form. And he swallows you in and
Which is
automatically kills
easier
you.
to
if you
do.
get close there.
Yeah. It's easier to do in the 100% run. It is still possible to do in the any percent run, but you can only miss one shot. I think in this version you can miss a couple. But he
Nice.
didn't.
Hey,
All right,
GG.
There we go. So that would be time
fight.
if it were a valid run. As it is, I guess it still is a valid any percent run. About
That's
30
true.
minutes behind my record.
33 minutes behind your
33
record. What
minutes,
is your
yeah.
record?
It's like 57-40
57.
in any percent,
40.
not 100%.
Wild. Yeah, your 100% record is an hour 17 and some change, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think? Should I let the ending play out on mine, or should we wait for Synth because he has the sound?
Yeah, who's got sound, I guess.
Sif,
If I've
you've had
got
yours
sound,
the whole time.
let it. Okay. Then yeah. I guess use. I'll let the credits play out because I have
Okay.
things to make fun of Bonnie for.
Sounds good.
Can't wait.
So if someone new were to get into this run, would you recommend 100% or an any percent to start off so Bonnie knows what to do?
Yes, they're asking for a friend.
I would say start with 100 or with any percent. I mean,
Yeah, any
ideally
percent.
start with a casual run.
Well, yeah, I'd certainly recommend doing a casual playthrough first. As far as difficulty to learn, any percent is more straightforward, I would say. But I personally like the 100% run better, having done both. So I guess it depends on the runner, whether you want to work your way up to that, or just jump straight into 100%, or maybe just run any percent and see if you feel like trying 100% after that.
And kind of like with Willow, like heal mace route, like I would recommend starting out with, if you want to do any percent, I would recommend starting out with learning the Eclipse route. You know, you can do the Eclipseless route, but the Eclipse route is still very, it's easy, straightforward to at least get your bearings on where everything is, what you kind of need to do, and then you can jump in and dive right into the Eclipseless.
Cool.
So I found out I was too late to actually cast Moncom. I did get my Eclipse, but I waited until I was in the Dark World, and you can't cast Moncom in the Dark World.
Aw. I guess because you're in different worlds. No trees that are growing there.
Yeah. All right, Gora.
And you get a
That was a
change.
wasted cast. If you are too early casting that Boltor, Gora's hitbox hasn't spawned, and it wastes the cast, which is what happened to me right there. Oh no. Time.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah.
GG, Synth.
Thank you. GG's to you
Only
too.
3 minutes.
And congrats on completing the
That's not that
first
much.
genuine 100% run today.
Yeah.
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 And congrats on the new PB.
It is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Recorded PB.
Yeah, and I even tried to invalidate it, and the game wouldn't let me. So, yeah, we're gonna. I just want to run through the credits here real quick. We go and talk to the king and the 4 princesses, and we talk to all of our companions, and everybody has something to say. It's all fantastic. And then the king says, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to rule the land or whatever? Like, marry my daughter and all that kind of stuff. Like it happens at the end of a Dragon Warrior, but there's no "but thou must" in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you say, as long as the wide world of adventure calls to me, I have to continue, and you just leave. And it's
Well, and what else is awkward too about it is, so Coronia was Scheherazade the whole time,
yeah.
and Coronia was completely integral to your entire quest. Everything that you did was your complete partner. Everything that you did, helped you out with finding, all the time doors, all that. And you're just gonna go, oh, okay, you stay here, I'm gonna go. Like, what is that?
You
You
hang
bring
out.
all your other companions, but her.
Yeah, but her,
her.
you just like,
Yep, and yeah, it's a little silly. And then also in the any percent run, even though we skip Gunmecha and Supika, they show up at the end here and have stuff to say.
Nice.
But yeah, here we are on the carpet. No Scheherazade, no Coronia.
We'll just have to wait.
We're
till
like,
Scheherazade-
bye.
We'll just have to wait for the sequel. It definitely came out. Just like Utopia.
So
3.
that's the thing. The game teases a sequel in this. Then it never happened.
Oh,
Inspired by Utopia 2.
I can relate.
1990X,
I
let's
can
go.
absolutely relate. I didn't feel like getting all emotional here on commentary, but yeah, That's it's a sore spot, shall we say?
One I will never stop.
Yeah,
poking
it
up.
doesn't.
Right.
It's not as. Yeah, it's not as clear as continued in Utopia 2 or
Right.
Utopia 3. It just says, well, the time door will open again soon, and then it never does ever again. But all right, everybody, thank you so much. Sorry for the franticness of this run, and all of the on the fly routing that I had to do. But thank you so much for donating. It's a super important cause, and I'm so glad that we were able to do this. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Culture Brain presents.
And
Also, thank you to Kat and Vani and Sastrash for the commentary. You were able to keep some of the pressure off of me.
Yeah.
And probably Barbaloot. I don't know if you can see my hands, like I'm freaking out. So
Happy to be a part of it.
Well, we appreciate you having us.
thank
Thank
you.
It's an honor.
Synth and Barbaloot.
yeah, GG's
Oh, yeah, it was
to
good to
both
be
of
here.
you. It was a great race between you two.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Synth. Thank you so much, Barbaloot. And of course, this incredible commentary here. Very nice, chill race. Very nice, lovely, chill, chaotic race. But hey, it makes for some good marathon and fantastic run. We have ourselves a $25 anonymous donation. No comment, but thank you so kindly for your generosity. Just wanted to shout you out your contributions to NAMI. Coming up after this short break, we are going to have some more Speedrun Classic goodness, so do not go anywhere. And please stick around for more RPGLB 2022. We're going to be right back. No problem. I'm ready. All right, everybody. Welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2022, raising money for the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are transitioning back for an on-site run. Now, that last run, that Magic Scheherazade race, was the last remote run for this event. Um, I just want to shout out the fact that this event has been a truly a hybrid event, engaging in components both on-site and remote, very much seamlessly as a viewer. So shout outs to the tech team. Let's give them a big hand. Phenomenal. Thank you so much for having an incredible hybrid event. Hopefully more to follow in the future. And all right, everybody, RPG Limit Break 2022 has featured some classic RPG series already. We've seen your Ultimas, your Dragon Quests, your Final Fantasies, your Eases. But now it is time for the other RPG Granddaddy's time to shine. That's right, we have coming up an any percent run of Phantasy Star 2. A major sentimental favorite, really was one of the first RPGs that brought such vivid presentation to this genre that we all just love. And presenting for you this run next is the one, the only, the Big Fwong Balls. So you know we're in for a fantastic time. Phantasy Star 2, any percent, Bic. It's coming up next. You're not going to want to miss it, so stick around. I'm happy to report progress is being made on that glitch exhibition total for the Fire Emblem run that's going to be happening later this evening, early evening, late afternoon. We got ourselves $776 raised out of the 3,000 met. Y'all are doing incredible at getting there, climbing. Keep on going. Keep those donations coming in. It is for a great cause. We got ourselves $21 from Mokomich USA. They say IRKN stands for Idokan, the commentator on the Japanese restream. Well, thank you very much for that, being very informative in that comment. Thank you kindly, and thank you so much for the donation. Want to take some time again to remind y'all that we are benefiting the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. NAMI promotes advocacy, education, support, and public awareness to improve the lives of all individuals and families affected by mental illness. NAMI exists to ensure that no one is alone on their mental health journey. Speaking personally, um, I've been there. I've, I've been there. Um, it is way harder than it needs to be to admit that you need help. And beyond that, it is harder still to reach out for help. But again, thank goodness for organizations like NAMI that make the barriers to get that help, accessing that help, way lower than they need to be. And the first step always starts with you, but just know that if you reach out your hand, someone is gonna be there. An organization like NAMI, which we are more than honored to be benefiting, raising nearly $72,000 so far, well on the way to our target goal this week of 100,000. We can we can reach it, we can meet it, and we could definitely exceed that. We got plenty of time. So everybody, get those donations in, contribute to an incredible cause in NAMI. Thank you so much, everyone.